Hi, this is my solution to Paul McWhorter's Pico W lesson number 44 when he wants us to use a Pico W with an MPU6050 like that, and he wants us to drop it and then see how, if we can calculate the distance that we dropped it using the X and Y and Z acceleration. Now, on Paul's videos, you see that on his breadboard he has other things connected, most notably the OLED display. Now, I keep damaging things. I mean, you can see there that isn't straight, and it's because I keep dropping it. So I don't want anything more on my breadboard, the breadboard that I drop, anything more than the bare necessities. So therefore I'm using another Pico W to display the information. I mean, there's several reasons for not wanting to do that, because you can't actually film the display or read the display as you're dropping it, so it's easy if you do it. So my other Pico W, who's assisting me, now this is a Pico W there, which is attached to my Pico Deca, and it's got my screen, my Pico Waveshare Pico Res-Touch screen, that I did use it in lesson, can't remember, 34 I think, and it's a total nightmare, but I'm just trying to use that. And I'm connecting them by using the first Pico, which is a server, as an access point. And this has various advantages. You don't have to have an internet connection or a router, or mobile reception, and you don't need to know the IP address of it, or you don't have to. Other people have given the server a fixed IP address. I never went that route, I just called it a name, but you always had to do something on your router. But as you aren't going through the router, you don't need to. And to connect to it, that server, all you have to do is set up the SSID and the password of the network you want to create, and just set it up as an access point. Do it with details, set it to true, and then active to true, and it just carries on until it's active. And then you pass the IP address of this network into the next bit. Now the next bit is very much based on Paul's lessons that I think started on about lesson number 29, where he was setting up a UDP server and client relationship. So he just passed that in, but everyone knows about that. Now, to prove that something's happening, if I plug this in and I run it, whoops, stop. What are we? Right, this is COM5. COM5. If I run the server, it says IP address to connect to is 192.168.4.1. Right. Okay, if I go over to my PC, see what's available, as if by magic, there's your Pico W access point, but I won't connect to it because it wouldn't really do a lot. So I'll stop that. Now we'll just have another look at my code to see exactly what I'm doing. Right, this is still my server. All it does is, in the while true loop, it's waiting to get a message from the client, and if the client says stop, we stop. Otherwise, it gets the acceleration and works out whether it's falling or not. Now here I do XYZ equals MPU Excel XYZ. I get them all at once because there might be a slight delay if you say XXL equals X, YXL equals that, there could be a slight display. And the reason why I'm interested in X, Y and Z, because I think most people are thinking that we'll just drop the Pico like that. I'm allowing for it to be dropped like that, or like that, by using the acceleration equals X acceleration squared plus Y acceleration squared plus Z acceleration squared, and you take the square root of that. If you draw the little triangles, you can see that's what it's doing. And then I'm just finding when it starts falling, when it stops falling, and then I'm sending all the details to the client who asked for it, and then I'm going back to see whether he's asking again. Right, that's the client side of it. No, that's the server side of it, sorry. Now the client side of it, the bit here, that is just all to do with setting up the title on the Waveshare, and that's the message at the bottom. That's all the font size. In case you're wondering about that, this show up and show down. The screen is too big for the Pico W's memory to be able to have the whole, to do the whole screen all in one go, so you have to do the top and then the bottom. Then I'm just connecting to my private network like that, and then after I've connected to the network, if I look at the third occurrence of the IP, if I look at the third occurrence of the IP addresses in IF config, that is the one that you want to connect to get onto the server. So that is, as before, you just set up to connect to the client. And right, in the while true loop, what's that doing there? That's better. In the while true loop, I'm just seeing if I've touched the screen, it will contact the server, get the details, display the distance, show the screen, go back up there and wait for it to be touched again. Now I haven't implemented the two buttons. I should really have a button saying get data and stop, but at the moment I've just left it that if I touch the screen anywhere that it will work. Oh, I didn't mention, I don't think I mentioned, now if I drop this, if I drop it straight, that's fine. If I drop it like that, it's fine. If I drop it like that, it's fine. But if I drop it like that, it won't do a clean drop, because one side might be heavier than the other, and it will give you a skewed result. Is there anything else I need to mention before I demonstrate it? No. The only problem with this, I would have preferred to have a bigger font size on my screen, but Waveshare is just a nightmare. It's okay if you're using C, I think, but the documentation for MicroPython is abysmal. So I will set everything up now. I'll go away and I'll be back because I have to set up the lighting, otherwise you won't be able to see. Right, I'm back. Sorry about the glitch just at the end of the other bit. Sometimes RecMaster decides to open the Edge window instead of closing itself down. Anyway, I'm running a server on my little breadboard there, little Pico, and I'm running the client on the other Pico W. And I don't know if you can see, it says calculating distance dropped from MPU6050 at the top, and at the bottom it says position Pico sensor, then touch screen for new try. So that's what we'll try to do. I will position that. Whoops, my thumb's in the way. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'll position that and I'll touch the screen and I'll drop it. And you won't be able to see. It says distance dropped is 11.85545 centimeters. Right. So we'll try it again, this time on its side. So I've got it up there. I'll press it and drop it. Right. 10.8755. That all looks perfectly good. Anything else? Well, I could try drop it at the other end. Probably everything would fall apart. I'll try dropping it. So it's in the right position. Press that. 15.9342. I've no idea whether these distances are right or not, because it is very inaccurate. The more you drop it, the more that bit moves, and therefore all the calculations go wrong. But in theory, it works.